Brenton, Avdulla, Junu Pride is a ride for you in race 2 come Saturday. It's a restricted race, so we don't have too much form to go on, but the one run your horse had was very good.
Yeah, he handled himself pretty well. He obviously drew a little bit awkward, but he found not a bad spot. Presented to win the race, and it was a line of, 5 or so of them, and he was just beat. So, yeah, I thought he handled himself really well, and he wasn't far off.
Given that he's not a super big horse, he was weighing under 1,000 pounds. I mean, I guess, is he a type that perhaps, felt like he came to hand quite quickly and looked like he was ready to do himself justice early?
Yeah, look, I've had a little bit to do with him, and yeah, he's always been pretty progressive in that regard, as in he's pretty sharp, he's learning quickly. Like I said, he's not a big horse, but he's quite athletic, and yeah, for John to obviously be running him again with a trial in between suggests that he's doing well enough.
I guess it mustn't be forgotten that, I mean, the winner especially had 4 runs prior to this race. There were others that had a bit of experience around you, so he certainly had himself well amongst more experienced rivals.
Yeah, for sure. The winner obviously had a few runs, had raced well, won a couple of them now, so you find in those sorts of graded races that those race experience does help. So for him to now have the run on the board, I think he'll take good improvement off it for sure.
The barrier has been very kind to you. Obviously 12 on debut, didn't look overly fair in some respects, but he overcome that. He's got gate 2 this time.
Yeah, perfect draw. Gives him every opportunity to sort of position up somewhere, on pace or just behind the pace, and get a nice running trip, and hopefully we can save our energy for the finish.
Frankie, race 3, you're going to saddle a horse by the name of Master Trillion, who was very good on his debut down the straight. He kept on nicely, and that was a pretty good win.
Yes, last start, it's not that strong field, but anyway, he still can win the race. And later on, he can a little bit further. So this time, I just put in 1200. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just sort of as an overall assessment of that debut, I mean, he was doing all his best work late, wasn't he? Was it expected? Did you think coming into that race that he was a chance of a win on debut over 1,000 metres?
When I saw the race not that strong, I already said, because our horse is not that good when he trial, but that race is not that strong. I want to talk to the owner. Maybe we can got some chance. But anyway, he win the race, and really happy. And now we just go up to 1,200. Maybe later on he can go a little bit further. Yeah.
Breeding would certainly suggest that you've gone up to 1,200. He's also gone up to Chungfa and had a trial there. How has he benefited from the break in Chungfa?
Yes, he looks good. Only a little bit problem. The jockeys tell me at the turns a little bit hanging out. So that's why I changed the bit for him. Change the locking bit. I hope then and can help the horse to turn. Yeah.
Frankie, if this was a 1,000-metre race, barrier 13 would be a good barrier. Sadly, it's not. It's 1,200. I guess that is the negative, really.
Yes, of course. 1,200, and you get the outside draw a lot easy for the horse and also for the jockeys. I think Derek will try to. If you can just jump, okay, midfield's okay. I think Derek will make the decision for this horse. Yeah.
Frankie, these are the owners that had Master 8, aren't they? I mean, it looks like they might have another nice horse, actually.
Yes, but Master 8 is a big horse. This one just not that big than Master 8. But anyway, he still can win for the owners. I think it's good.
Ben Thompson, race 5 on Saturday is the Panasonic Warm Jar Handicap. I'm not sure if you've got one of those, but you do have a ride in the race, and it's Forever Folks, a horse who you've got a decent association with, though I guess he gives you a bit of a headache, does he?
Yeah, you can say you're definitely on your riding fee on him, Nick. He's been a model of consistency. He hasn't missed the top 3 in his last 4 starts, and he generally you head to the races with confidence riding him, knowing that he's going to give his best. You just have to be, obviously, if you're fit, there's no issues, and he takes quite a bit of encouragement. But hey, he's obviously Michael Chang, Mr. So, and the team have really worked him out well, and now reaping the rewards with him.
Just on sort of working him out with a horse like him, obviously, you're fully aware of what he's capable of and his running style. I mean, it is noticeable that he is one of the first off the bit, but he always seems to find late on. How do you sort of approach a ride like that, Ben? Do you just sort of leave a lot to circumstance, perhaps?
Yeah, I found a couple of things which he seems to enjoy more, or which can help him travel. Funnily enough, he's a horse that, given his best form's been on the all-weather track, there's, as a rule, quite a bit of kickback. He tends to race better in amongst horses, so I've been crying out for a low draw. Barrier 6 isn't too bad tomorrow, as it's only the second time he's drawn inside 7 in his last 8 starts. So I'm not complaining there. It's better than 7 or wider that he's been having. But if he finds the rail, he tends to travel a bit better. And it's just the closer you can be on him, the less ground he has to make up. It's the rule goes that you need your horses to travel, though. Him travelling is generally, I think, him thinking about what's for dinner and getting too far out of his ground and having too much to do. So it's, you find if you keep him on the job, yes, it looks like you're irritating him, though he will, still kick off that. So hopefully we can be able to a good run. He runs against similar opposition that he's been taking on, and it'd be nice for him to get back in the winner stall.
Yeah, certainly you do sort of meet the same sort of horses in these types of races. There are a couple that can go forward, so I guess with a bit of pace there predicted, does that help you?
For sure, and I think the beauty of it, the way barriers have been distributed, most of the speed's drawn on my inside, so I'm hoping that speed does present. We can come across behind that speed, and most of those horses are the better of the chances. So, hey, he's as you know, the race complexion on the all-weather, 1650 on the all-weather is generally pretty similar. So hopefully, the field's opening up. I'm getting space coming to the home straight and can let him run on as he does well. So he's won 2 of his last. He won 2 back and hasn't been far away in his 2 before that and his start after. So may he be able to go 2 better again.
Andrea, the Panasonic Cup is our feature on Saturday, race 7. You're going to jump aboard Drombeg Banner, a horse you've got a good association with, who once again just continued to sort of pull something out the fire last time and get the win. He was good.
Yeah, no, he's a tough horse. He's a lovely ride. He's a forward-going horse that keeps finding. He was very tough the last day. Obviously, his first run of the season, over 1400, he jumped and made all, and he just never looked back. And obviously, he's had a nice break since. I think he's had just over a month between races. He's trialled once since, and looking forward to get back on him tomorrow.
Did you get any report on that trial? No, you didn't ride him, but that was up at Chung Fa. He did manage to win it. Yeah,
no, obviously I didn't. I just watched the trial, and he trialled quite nicely. It wasn't asked too much, but hit the line quite strongly. And it's a horse that runs well fresh, so yeah.
He does indeed, and actually second up record, 2 from 2. So the fact he's had that run, he's had a nice trial, he's clearly in good form. He certainly comes into the race in probably the best possible shape, doesn't he?
He does, yeah, and the track should be quite comfortable for him, and he's got a nice draw. But as you know, it's a very, very competitive race.
It is fiercely competitive indeed, and your guy obviously now up to a career high of 95. I guess, Andrea, with a horse like him who just always gives everything in his races, I mean, you'd be hard pushed to say where the ceiling is, but I suppose the higher he goes, the harder it does get.
Of course, like you said, there's only his highest mark. I think the handicap put him up £6, which is never easy. And but he's a tough horse. Pierre's horses are flying, but you can make a case if you go through the race, you can make a case of every single horse in it. It's a very, very competitive race. There's a lot of up and coming horses with a light weight. He's got to give some weight to some of these, like I say, these younger horses, and you go through the field, and out of 14, you can make a case out of all of them. I think it's going to be a very interesting race, and anything can win it, but hopefully it's mine.
Yeah, he's a good ride to have. And just finally, obviously, gate number 3 for him as well. Obviously, same gate as last time.
Yeah, correct. Listen, everybody knows it's a one-way, sort of pretty much one way to ride him. He jumps and goes, and he usually keeps going. So hopefully, he does that again tomorrow.
He's a little bit like a sort of a better. I mean, I don't want to sort of discredit the horse too much, but he's sort of a better I give, isn't he? Who, in fact, you actually ride in the race prior. So you've got a couple of nice rides for Pierre.
Yeah, no, very similar horses. Like you said, obviously, Drombeg Banner, it's on ratings, and you think he's probably slightly better than I gave. But the 2 horses that I usually ride very similar. Obviously, I gave nice dropping down to the straight course to 1,000, which I don't think will be an issue. He's got a very light weight, and although it's for a small field, is a competitive race too. But no, looking forward to ride both. And the thing with Pierre horses, you can manage to get him up there, and you think when you get to the 200, you think he ran out of petrol, or somehow they keep finding more. So it's they're two nice rides to get.
Just with I give, obviously back to 1,000. He hasn't run over the distance for a little while. I believe he had sort of hock surgery, so that's obviously cleared that ailment up. What about him coming back to 1,000 lightweight? I know that's a competitive race, but he's an interesting runner.
Yeah, I thought his comeback run was a good run. He probably just got a little bit tired sort of later on, over 1,200. Come back to 1,000. Listen, he's probably slightly better over 12, but this race came up and looked like it's going to be a small field, and he's a horse that's got plenty of pace over 1,200. I don't think 1,000 would be an issue too. Obviously, we've got Wonder Bar in the race that he's obviously, as we well know, he looks a very good horse. But hopefully with a lightweight, he can jump and go and hopefully get going.
Frankie, Voyage Samurai is a runner for you in the last race on Saturday. He's only had the one run so far this season. It was a pretty good return to action.
Yes, the only race one time I finished second, and this time the second start for him I think should be better. Yeah.
He went forward last time, Frank. I mean, he and a co-leader were sort of a little way clear of the field. Was he just a little bit keen or a bit strong and maybe a bit fresh for his return there?
First start he raced and before he want to follow the girls, but the girls maybe jump a bit slow, and then so our horse just go forward, and unfortunately the girls can't hold the horse, so the pace a little bit quick for him, and but I think finally he finished second. I think it's good, yeah.
Yeah, it almost looked like he sort of got dragged into the race a bit. I mean, he was giving a bit of weight to the winner last time as well. He's better off at the weights with Prey for Mer this time around, so he certainly looks well handicapped with that horse, doesn't he?
Yes, he's a big horse. I think he's okay, and also give him a trial last week, and he's feel good, yeah.
I want to ask you about that trial. I mean, it was a strong trial field, and I mean, he sort of held his own with them, didn't he? I mean, he looked pretty good in the trial. Yeah,
he looked pretty good, yes. And, we trial just only 1,200. For him, it's a little bit short. But anyway, he trial good, yeah.
He's a 5-year-old, Frankie, with not many miles on the clock. I mean, there might just be a bit more still to come from this guy, is there?
Yes. To see how it's going, I hope he can win the race for the owners, because he's quite consistent, this horse. And if he can win, we can go up to Class 2, maybe still have a race for him, yeah.